If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio. This whole unloading everything in the first fucking 5-10 years of your life and trying to keep up with the Joneses and be like, I'm the guy who's got the best car at 22. Doesn't matter. I'm the guy who's got a mortgage first. It really doesn't matter. I'm the guy who's got the best looking girlfriend at 23. Again, I'm sure everybody's going to get a better one in the future because it doesn't matter right now. It really doesn't matter. And these guys trying to trump everybody early on and be like, it's like that film Run Fat Boy Run when they sprint off the line. Like if you're in a marathon and you could easily lead a marathon in the first 3 minutes. I mean, some of those marathon runners hit a crazy pace consistently, but still, I'm pretty confident. Put me on that start line and I do 200 meter pace. I'm pretty confident after 20, 30 seconds, I'm going to be in front of the marathon. 2 hours later, I might be at the back with cramp asking for first aid. But I'm pretty sure I could get out in front. This is how men are living their lives. I have the best car at 25. I spent 20 grand on it. Everyone's jealous. Yeah, but at 35, you're broke. Because that big chunk of money that you should have invested and made more money from, you threw it away. You were worried about the short game, what people were thinking of you right then in that moment, and you fucked up. Hello guys and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about how male life is like pre-season in a sporting sense. Now anybody who's familiar with sports will know that pre-season does matter, but at the end of the season it doesn't really matter. Okay? So pre-season matters because you can get your fitness in gear, you can get some wins on the board and build some momentum. You can figure out your best formation, the best players, who's in form this year, who's got a year older and is more powerful this year and needs to go into the team. There's all these different things, right? But you could also have the worst preseason ever, lose every single game, and then get into the actual season and win the championship, the title, the trophy, whatever it might be, and then it was all meaningless, it means nothing. But in preseason, if you lost every game, let's say you lost 8 in a row, then everybody's going to slag you off. Commentators, pundits, you're going to have bloggers, you're going to have fans of other teams. They're going to be saying, this season's a write-off, this team is terrible, they're going nowhere, okay? Now that's very similar to life. There's a lot of guys from 18 to 30, and the reason I say 18 to 30 is because everything before that, I believe, is somewhat of a waste of time, okay? It's not even pre-season, it's more the academy or figuring out that you actually have some talent or trying to figure out what you actually want to do with your life, okay? You could be 8 years old and your parents are feeding you, making decisions for you and telling you what time to go to bed. That's not life. So anybody who's 30 thinking, I'm behind on life, I'm struggling. No, you're 12 years old, okay? Don't panic. You've barely had any time to get this going, right? But any guys that are in between that bracket or just slightly above the 18 to 30 bracket, you would have been slagged off at some point. You would have had people going, he's going nowhere. What's he doing with his life? I get a lot of people messaging me. That's why I've actually made this video talking about how family are holding them back. Family are asking them, why aren't you doing something? Why are you doing that? Why don't you go down this route? You get all these mixed feelings. Well, that's very much like pre-season, okay? You're trying to figure shit out. You're trying to decide, what do I need to do to be in the best possible position for when the season starts? The male advantage, that's the real season, that's where the real shit happens, and if you win that, you win life, you win the trophy, you win the game of life, whatever it might be. But you've got parents, as in pundits, or pundits as in parents, that are slagging you off, that are saying, this isn't good, I think you should do this. Like, everybody has an opinion in pre-season or at the start of the season, but usually you can see it come together. But in pre-season, every fan of every other team says he's no good, this team aren't going to do well, here's my prediction. End of the season, usually everybody's wrong. It usually goes to the team that nobody saw coming or the team that put in the most work that nobody realized. They were developing in pre-season and by the actual season they'd peaked. Nobody fucking knows. And it's the same for your life. You might get to 18 and you put some pressure on yourself, okay? Should I go to uni? I'm making a video on this soon as well. I think so many young men need to understand, should they go to uni, start a business, get a job? What's the next step? Because I'll explain it in the video, okay? It'll be maybe the next one I do. But you might get to 18, you're wondering whether to go to uni and stuff, you're panicking, you want You want to make sure you're a somebody early on. You want to get out of the blocks early and get a little head start on everybody else. It's natural. We all do, okay? And you start panicking. You think, God, if I get to 25 and I'm not wealthy, ooh, that's a problem. And then even worse, if I get to 30 and I haven't made it yet, what am I doing with my life? I'm basically 200 years old. And everybody does this little panic station. But what guys don't realize is 18 to 30 is pre-season. It's the pre-game. It doesn't matter. There's so many guys that in pre-season, they put out all the effort. They put out everything. Have you ever seen guys in training that look unbelievable and then you get to the game and they're shit? And you're like, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, Floyd Mayweather used to talk about this all the time. He used to say there's a lot of guys who are superstars in the gym. There's a lot of guys who have come out and said, oh, when I fought Floyd Mayweather in the gym when we were sparring, I landed like 10 clean punches on him and I put him down. I don't know if anybody's ever put him down, but I'm sure somebody must have, right? He's sparred more rounds than he's actually fought in an actual, ring on a fight night. But then Floyd says, yeah, that's great, but it's about what you do under the lights. It's about what you do in front of the cameras. It's about what you do on Friday fight night or Saturday fight night, box office, pay-per-view, millions of people watching. Can you handle it in that pressure scenario? Can you turn up on that actual day? And that's how so many people live life. So many guys are like 22 years old, spending 10, 15, 20 grand on a new Mercedes and then driving around. And I had a friend when we were young. He's not much of a friend anymore. I don't really see him. But he went and bought a Porsche and nobody had heard from him or seen him in ages. And he showed up at everyone's house and was like, oh, I just wanted to drop in to see you. Now he's had to sell the Porsche and try and figure out finances. Like, what are you doing? It's just so stupid. It's pre-season. You just unleashed all your energy on pre-season. You just got all your money and just went, bang, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to show off. I'm going to, if it was a boxing match, that would be the first 2 or 3 rounds. And you just came out swinging, fucking terrible technique, roundhouses, haymakers, like a pub brawl. And then by round 4, you're like, you're not strategized for the next rounds afterwards. Whereas somebody else is a little bit calmer, they're counter-punching, they're sniping, they're having a better, they're using less power so that they can be better for the long game. That's kind of the way that you should live a male life. And you should always remember that 18 to 30 is just pre-season. It matters because it sets you up for the rest of your life. But if you get to 29, 30 and nothing's taken off yet, as a man, our lives haven't even started yet. It's really not a problem. And you have to remember that concept, guys, that it's pre-season. But that's also massively important because in pre-season, you tune your body to get fit, to get in the correct shape, to, like hone in those little touches. Let's say it's football, you got to bring the ball down. Your touch is just perfection. Your eye is just in. Your mind is just ready. Your body's clean. You're sharp. You're sleeping well. That's what preseason's for. And then by the time you get that first game, maybe like 30 years old, 30th birthday, you hit the ground running. You don't want to be one of these guys that believes that 18 to 30 is the real season. That's the game. That's where you need to be. They're sparring. Everybody else is sparring. This guy thinks it's the fucking Saturday night fight night. And he's swinging away. He's trying to knock out the champ. And the champ's like, I'm just getting my rounds in. I'm just practicing. I'm blocking. I'm moving I'm working on a few little things. And then when the actual fight night comes, the champ wins. The other guy doesn't because he was more hell-bent on just swinging it out. This is how so many guys are living from 18 to 30. You need to have the other strategy of don't be afraid to get to 30 and be broke, but be in a fantastic position. There's been multiple times where I've made a lot of money and I've reinvested it. I could have had a car. I could have had really nice clothes. I could have had a massive house. I could have had a holiday home in somewhere like LA and been taking pictures and been like, hey, hashtag living life. Jealous bitches. I don't want to do that because I know it's the pre-season game. This is pre-season. It doesn't matter. So what I'd rather do is hone my skills. I'd rather reinvest that money in education. I'd rather reinvest that in my body and say, if I just keep tweaking here and I keep growing and I keep building and I keep working on this and that and this and that, when I do get to the actual season, 30 years old and beyond, then everything's going to fall into place. Then it's actually going to matter, okay? So many guys might be like 25 and they're sleeping with what they think is the best looking girl they've ever seen. Then they get to like 35, they should have a higher value. There's better women chasing them, but they're already married. They're not really in a position to take advantage of it. You know, it's little things like that where they unloaded on preseason, weren't ready for the actual season. You know, shit matters in the season when you get past 30 or 30 and beyond. It matters then, okay? Things start clicking into place. Now, it's not necessary that you get to 30 and you're a massive success. People who tell you that aren't successful themselves, so that doesn't matter. And like I said, you're only 12 years old. And there's, in a sporting sense, again, there's plenty of teams that might have a bad preseason. They might have a bad first 10 games of the season, and then suddenly something clicks. You know, we've all seen these documentaries of like teams that were going like that, and then all of a sudden a new coach came in or something, and they picked it up. I mean, Bayern Munich just last season, the football team, they were doing really badly, and then a new manager came in and they picked it up and they won the league, the Champions League, and they might have won the cup as well. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you get halfway through the season and you're mid-table. You know, what matters is if you get that trophy at the end. And so many guys are worried about halfway through the season being like, hey, look at me, I'm top of the league. I scored the most goals. So, yeah, but the season's not over yet. Let's see if you're top goal scorer at the end of the season. Oh, and it turns out your team finished third and you were 10th top goal scorer in the end. Doesn't sound too great now, does it, buddy? You know, and the person that was steady, that was working on themselves, that strategized all the way up and plotted, you know, they're going to score the most goals or whatever. That is how you need to live your life. This whole unloading everything in the first fucking 5-10 years of your life and trying to keep up with the Joneses and be like, I'm the guy who's got the best car at 22. Doesn't matter. I'm the guy who's got a mortgage first. It really doesn't matter. I'm the guy who's got the best looking girlfriend at 23. Again, I'm sure everybody's going to get a better one in the future because it doesn't matter right now. It really doesn't matter. And these guys trying to trump everybody early on and be like, it's like that film Run Fat Boy Run when they sprint off the line. Like if you're in a marathon and you could easily lead a marathon in the first 3 minutes. I mean, some of those marathon runners hit a crazy pace consistently, but still, I'm pretty confident. Put me on that start line and I do 200 meter pace. I'm pretty confident after 20, 30 seconds, I'm going to be in front of the marathon. 2 hours later, you know, I might be at the back with cramp asking for first aid. But I'm pretty sure I could get out in front. This is how men are living their lives. I have the best car at 25. I spent 20 grand on it. Everyone's jealous. Yeah, but at 35, you're broke. Because that big chunk of money that you should have invested and made more money from, you threw it away. You were worried about the short game, what people were thinking of you right then in that moment, and you fucked up. It's a simple life lesson, guys. If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio.